Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker's Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 50, and today we're going to be talking about 3 massive myths that traditional sales trainers still want you to believe. And really looking forward to bringing you this. There's so much misinformation out there on selling, on sales training and strategy, and really looking forward to helping you to clear a few of these up. But first, if you've got leads in your pipeline that you want to convert and you're not sure whether your team are following them up, you're not sure if you're using the right follow-up strategy, then I have got an amazing resource for you over at johnblakeaudio.com. This is where you can download a free 15-minute audio, really to the point, zero fluff. It just gets right in there and it gives you the exact strategy that you can use to double your sales with your existing leads, the ones that you've already got in your pipeline. This is the exact same strategy that I start all my new 12-month clients on, that gives us a really quick win, and it's going to work for you. I've seen it work time and time again over the last 15 years as a coach, and certainly over the last 15 years prior to that as a sales manager, business owner, salesperson. So head over to johnblakeaudio.com, download the audio training, and it also comes with a PDF guide that's got the exact templates that you need to use. So exactly what to write in your emails, exactly what to say when you get someone's voicemail, and exactly how often to call. So you've got the exact framework. It's like an 8-week framework: when to email, when to call, what to write, what to say in a voicemail message, and it'll give you great results when you use it. I've seen it happen heaps of times. So head over there. I'm sure that'll be valuable. Okay, so episode 50, three myths traditional sales trainers want you to believe. So when it comes to sales, there is definitely more than one way to be right. In fact, the last time I counted, when you type in the term sales training into Google, there is I think the last time I checked, it was 150 million pages to choose from. In fact, often when I talk to somebody, if they come, if I'm talking to somebody and they're not, a warm referral or someone like that, one of the first questions I ask is, hey, so out of the 172 other options that you had on Google to choose from, any particular reason that made you call me? So you're definitely not starved for choice. So given that there are theoretically, 172 million opinions out there on how you should sell, in this article I'm going to share with you what I believe are the 3 biggest myths that are being perpetrated about selling and what I recommend that you do instead. So, these are not theory. They really have come from my hard-earned experience. I think I've probably forgotten or made more mistakes in selling than anyone else has, which is what I believe qualifies me to help other people with it, because I've identified the really long list of things that don't work, so that I have been able to isolate the smaller list of things that do work. So these are the things that I've realized through hard work, as I said, through trying things that have not worked, trying things that do, and your experience might be different, and that's totally cool. All I'm sharing with you here is what I've personally experienced over 30 years in sales. So look, here we go. Myth number 1, you need to close hard. Okay, so this is an interesting one, and it's certainly open to interpretation and will vary in context. So allow me to give you some definitions. So if closing hard means convincing somebody to do something against their will, what we are talking about is the number 1 reason why salespeople get such a bad reputation. So in this situation, it's a total myth for a couple of reasons. 1, somebody who is convinced against their will more often than not become the customer from hell. So if you're having to drag them kicking and screaming over the line to do business with you, it is not going to end well. I have learned this from experience, right? I know enough about selling to be able to convince somebody to come and do business with me. But if they are not the right fit, which everyone makes this mistake. You don't get to be in sales for 30 years and not have a few people that you can look back on and go, yeah, I probably shouldn't have accepted that person as a client. So just don't do it. They become the customer from hell. They also have because they've had a negative experience, sometimes a sort of semi-traumatic experience with you, they'll almost never subject anyone that they know or care about to the same experience, which means that they'll never refer business to you. So that's not a good thing. And if closing hard simply means doing, conversely, if closing hard simply means doing everything you can to dissolve blockages or barriers that stand between a willing buyer, someone who is motivated to do business with you, and helping them to provide a solution so that they can actually dissolve those blockages and allow you to be able to help them, then I think that's cool. I think you should totally be doing that. Although I would replace closing hard with working hard to help somebody, right? So, if there's some barriers that they've got, then, work with them to dissolve those barriers. If you're able to dissolve those barriers and you've got a willing participant there, then you've done your job. You've worked hard to help them on board. So, for what it's worth, that's my 2 cents worth on that. Myth number 2, salespeople need to become better closers. Okay, so I don't agree with this, and here's why. What's implied when you say that someone needs to get better at, in inverted commas, closing, is that the 80% of the sales conversation that precedes the end is unimportant or not as important, and it's only the end that matters. So in my experience, nothing could be really further from the truth. I mean, securing a commitment is obviously important, and you need to have language for that. And, I train people in that and help them to become more comfortable in doing that. And so that's all important. But you shouldn't to the exclusion of all other criteria. So unless you can actually create an environment where you have created trust and shown them that you actually care, in my experience, you can close them as hard as you like, but you aren't going to really achieve much at all. If on the other hand, you can set the relationship up right by connecting, asking well-planned and strategic questions, and then making a well-thought-out offer that's actually relevant to your potential client, then the end bit, really becomes pretty easy. So, obviously there are going to be some people that don't agree with me on this, and that's totally cool, but it's based on my own experience, not theory. I haven't read a book and, decided that this was my position on it. It's really just through, hundreds and hundreds of sales appointments and working with literally hundreds of salespeople. So, this is how I design my own and my clients' sales processes, and it comes, and it literally continues to produce consistent results, especially in today's sales climate where people can smell that sort of what I call the contrived close, coming from a mile away. So really, I guess in summary, if you're finding that you're having problems at the end, if a sales team are having problems at the end of a sales conversation, it's because of something that was missed or was not done properly way further upstream in the conversation. So probably something that happened in the first 25 to 30% of the conversation that's actually the problem. It's not because they, in inverted commas, they aren't able to close, or they're not closing hard enough. So look, how we fix that is a longer conversation. Happy to have that longer conversation with you, but understand that if your sales guys are having problems confirming someone's choice to go ahead, it's because of something that happened way further upstream that's causing it. Righto. So myth number 3, great salespeople are born, not made. So in my opinion, this is also inaccurate. Why? Well, before I get into why, I will say this. To be good at sales, like anything, you actually have to want to be good at sales, right? So, it's like if there's an intention and if there's motivation there, then there's a good chance that you can become better at it. Try to teach somebody to be good at sales who doesn't want to be good at sales is like teaching a pig to sing. Pigs are really bad singers, and it annoys the pig. I didn't come up with that, but I like it, so that's why I used it. My point is that people who aren't motivated to learn to sell won't do well. It's pretty straightforward. But with the right attitude and the right process, if you can give them the right framework and the right phraseology, you can get almost anybody up to speed on how to sell consistently. So, will they be a world beating superstar? Well, no, probably not. But can you get somebody to get a consistent result? Absolutely, in my experience. So good luck with that, and thank you for listening again. So this is a fairly monumental milestone. It's number 50. So 50 podcasts. Pretty exciting. So thanks for listening, and look forward to speaking to you on podcast number 51. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker's Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies to maximize your sales process with new episodes every week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive free no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.